So it's official. Lamont Roach has announced who he's fighting next, and while this has been talked about and really rumored for about a few weeks to maybe even a month now, it's official as Lamont Roach has posted on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, a video talking and finalizing and making official who he's fighting and his opponent. Well, his opponent's going to be Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Let's get straight into it, as Pitbull will be the next fighter in line for Lamont Roach, as Lamont Roach will be stepping up to 140. Obviously, Lamont made his pit stop at 135 against Tank Davis in a fight that put Lamont Roach on the map mainstream-wise in boxing and out of boxing. He's gained a whole new fan base just from that Tank Davis fight, and that might be people who are anti-Tank Davis that are, hey, Lamont Roach, but he has drawn a fan base, and truthfully, I think he's done and executed perfectly after this Tank fight, whether it be media, all the things, the way Roach has been moving, I think has been perfect for Lamont. But this is going to be a good test. I think this is a interesting test for Lamont Roach. Facing Pitbull Cruz, now at 140. Pitbull's been at 140 for a minute. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's talk about the details of this fight. But before we get into that, make sure you hit the like button, comment below if you are a fan of this fight, and hit the subscribe button as well. As I mentioned, Lamont Roach, Pitbull Cruz, where and when? December 6th in San Antonio, Texas. This is going to be a fun fight. I think this will be a good energy crowd in San Antonio for this one. There's been some fun fights in San Antonio's. You go back to COVID times, talking about Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. There have been some solid fights in San Antonio. If I'm trying to remember correctly, I want to say Adrian Broner versus Marcos Maidana back in, 2013 was in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. I believe that's the case. So there's been some great crowds and great fights in San Antonio. So I think this will be just like that. The fight itself interests me because of the fact Lamont Roach is going to 140. Remember, this is a guy before the Tank fight was at 130. People were calling him a cherry pick because Tank was bringing him up to 135. In the ring, he was bigger than Tank at 135, and it's clear that, he can go to 140 easy. So that's what he's going to do. Against Pitbull Cruz, this is going to be a real test for Lamont Roach as well. Because while Lamont Roach put on a great fight against Tank Davis and probably should have deserved to win in that fight. I know a lot of people, say hey, he won with the knockdown, everything. With the knockdown, of course. Without the knockdown, whatever. He got the draw. Probably, in many eyes, deserved a win in that fight. The narrative around this fight, as it already seems to, create and cloud the fight, it's the almost fight, I've heard people say. And this is the fight of guys that almost beat Tank Davis. Obviously, Pitbull Cruz went to a decision with Tank back in, 2021, I believe. And then Lamont Roach, the draw with Tank Davis. Pitbull, ever since that loss to Tank, has been chasing a Tank rematch for the longest time. Then Pitbull Cruz, it looked like he was on the precipice of it. Then he had a very poor performance 2 times. There was 2 times because Calvin Ford always talked about, we want to get Pitbull again because we didn't knock him out. There was twice where Pitbull just had performances that were lackluster and left you saying, I don't want to see that. One was a fight against Giovanni Cabrera. It was like he might have fought himself out of a Tank rematch. So then Pitbull goes and he knocks out Rolly Romero. Okay, he's back. Loses to Jose Rayo Valenzuela. He goes up to 140, right? He's at 140. I think the biggest thing for Lamont Roach, just early looking at this fight, is the fact that Pitbull has not been the same power puncher at 40 as he was at 35. 35, the aggressive. He's coming forward the entire fight. And that will be something for Lamont Roach because Lamont put on a spectacular performance against Tank Davis. But here's the question. Is that Lamont Roach every single night? Or was it Lamont Roach having an incredible night that night? Maybe Gervonta Tank Davis wasn't at his best. A combination of that. Or again, is that this is Lamont Roach the fighter? Those are 2 loaded questions. And it might be something in the middle where that level Lamont Roach fought at, incredible, especially those last 6 rounds against Tank. But is he going to do that? And it's going to be a different fight against Pitbull Cruz because Pitbull Cruz is coming right at you. I think he had a fight of the year contender earlier this year against Angel Fierro. That was a fight, if you remember, I believe that was on the Benavidez Morel card. That was incredible. Firefight. A split decision win for Pitbull Cruz. Dude's actually going to rematch Fierro on the Pacquiao card back in July. I believe Fierro had trouble with weight, so that ended up last second not happening. He still gets the unanimous decision against the fighter he fought. I'm blanking on the name at the moment. But it was like, yeah, okay. But Pitbull is going to throw punches and come right at you. For Lamont Roach, you have to make sure your defense is on point in this fight. This is a fight where you can't get caught slipping. And I mentioned maybe the power hasn't been there for Pitbull, but the volume is always going to be there for Pitbull Cruz. This is a fun fight. This is a big fight in both fighters' careers. I know people are already going to say the winner should get the rematch against Tank. I don't know what the heck Tank Davis is going to do next. But for each career, this is going to be Lamont's intro to 140. He gets this win. Okay, yeah. The champions, the Teofimo Lopez, the Richardson Hitchens, all these guys instantly in play. For Pitbull Cruz, you beat Lamont Roach, who's been like boxing's wonder child the last few months. You talk about it, it's, Lamont Roach can compete with any of these guys, and I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying it was one performance, and granted, it was a performance against a pound-for-pound top 10 guy in Tank Davis, but we have to see more, and that's what I want to see in this fight, and that's why I'm excited for it. In San Antonio, I think this is going to be a fun fight. I think this is going to be action-packed all night long. Like, Lamont Roach, he's going to be there. It's going to be a pocket fight. You could see Lamont boxing like Rayo did and had success with, but I think Lamont Roach is one of those guys that has the pride and says, yeah, I want to get you. So I think this will be a fun fight. Again, Pitbull versus Lamont Roach, PBC on Prime, December 6th in San Antonio. Comment below if you like this fight. Let me know why you like it or why you don't like it. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Never Drop podcast. Hey, that's all I got for you. Peace. I'm out.